China's evolution into the global manufacturing hub has been nothing short of remarkable. Upon joining the World Trade Organization in 2001, it occupied a minor role in the international manufacturing arena. However, through years of restructuring its economy to center around the production of export-oriented goods, formal WTO membership propelled its output to unprecedented heights. Over time, China positioned itself as the world's go-to low-cost factory, churning out labor-intensive products like textiles, toys, clothing, footwear, and furniture for companies and consumers worldwide. These industries served as a stepping stone, enabling China to advance economically and transition into more sophisticated manufacturing, much like the trajectories of economies such as Hong Kong and South Korea. As education and wages climb, diminishing China's cost advantage, the nation now aims to shift its focus to high-end manufacturing. It plans to rely on domestic consumption to drive its economy, leaving the production of inexpensive, labor-intensive goods to other players. Yet, if China's strategy succeeds, a crucial question arises: who will fill the void as the world's workshop once China ascends to higher-end manufacturing? The answer, it seems, is no one. Before you keep watching, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos about what's going on in Asia. Now let's talk about why no other countries can replace China as the world's manufacturing hub. Goodbye, China. Hello, Vietnam. Really? Headlines like "Vietnam's exports surpass Shenzhen" and "Is Vietnam the next China?" have been making waves in the media and online forums. These stories reflect concerns that Vietnam might take over China's role as the world's main factory. Vietnam has been benefiting from the trade tensions between China and the US that began in late 2018. Many foreign companies, aiming to reduce supply chain risks, are setting up manufacturing operations in Vietnam and other places outside China. Vietnam is handling its relationships with both sides in the trade dispute skillfully, securing a regional position that best serves its interests in politics and economics. However, there are a couple of important reasons why Vietnam can't simply replace China as the world's manufacturing hub. Firstly, Vietnam's manufacturers rely heavily on importing raw materials, from leather to other accessories, from China. Vietnam's development is closely tied to the manufacturing hub around China's Pearl River Delta in Guangdong Province. The spillover effect from Chinese manufacturing is essential for Vietnam's own manufacturing sector. Moreover, Vietnam can't absorb all of China's production output. China has a population of 1.4 billion, while Vietnam's population is less than 100,000, about 14 times smaller. The sheer size of China's manufacturing sector and economy allows companies to operate more efficiently. Even though Vietnam is considered one of the best alternative locations to China, it's facing challenges in its economy. The World Bank reports that Vietnam's labor force is only 7% the size of China's. Even if Vietnam attracts manufacturing in sectors like electronics and textiles, it can't replace China's overall production. If Vietnam cannot replace China, can India do it? While India has capitalized on Western concerns about Chinese supply chains by attracting increased foreign investment, it would be unrealistic for the Modi government to truly believe that, with Western assistance, India could replace China as the world's new manufacturing hub and fulfill its ambition of becoming an industrial powerhouse. Firstly, India's labor quality and infrastructure availability lag far behind China's. While some view India's low labor costs as an advantage over China, the actual benefits are relatively low. In urban areas, India's daily median income in 2017 was $4.21, significantly lower than China's $12.64. Additionally, India's state capacity is less extensive than China's, potentially exacerbating its lag in labor capability enhancement. Failure to address these deficits effectively could threaten India's social stability, despite the Modi administration's current efforts. Furthermore, India's diverse society diminishes the advantages of its large population. With various classes, ethnicities, religions, and languages, India is more a combination of thousands of small markets than a unified market of 1.4 billion people. This hinders India's ability to fully exploit its demographic advantages, despite being the world's most populous country. India's long-standing traditions of market interventionism and trade protectionism also create a less foreign, investor-friendly and export-friendly business environment. Economic reforms in the 1980s were less pro-market and more pro-business compared to China's reforms. Current regulations, such as the requirement for companies with over 300 employees to seek government permission for layoffs, contribute to the prevalence of small companies and informality in the Indian economy. Moreover, India's dependence on China poses a significant challenge. Over one-fourth of the value added in Indian exports is contributed by China alone, a stark contrast to the situation at the turn of the century. India's reliance on China has significantly increased over the past 2 decades, making it challenging to replace someone on whom you are dependent. There's no replacement for China. China's dominance in global supply chains remains unchallenged. With a comprehensive industrial system, it stands as the sole country worldwide covering all categories in the UN's industrial classification. Boasting extensive manufacturing capacity and a vast market scale, China's advantages are unparalleled. Additionally, its mature infrastructure and efficient logistics network play a crucial role in reducing overall costs compared to others. As other economies enhance their connectivity in logistics and infrastructure, China will remain an indispensable part of the process. The inevitable outcome of greater economic integration in Asia will be stronger ties between China's manufacturing sectors and those of other economies. Leveraging China's massive manufacturing sector will be essential for the development of other Asian economies. There's a possibility that labor-intensive manufacturing could persist in China but undergo significant transformations. Technology, especially automation, holds the potential for robots handling arduous tasks while humans focus on more skilled endeavors. China stands as one of the world leaders in deploying industrial robots, particularly in sectors like automotive and electronics. However, its enthusiasm for adopting this technology in the production of low-cost goods has been limited, possibly due to the availability of a substantial pool of inexpensive labor. Besides that, China's manufacturing could undergo an evolution, which in that case, China will end up replacing itself. China's uneven development is evident, particularly with the concentration of most labor-intensive manufacturing in major cities. A parallel can be drawn to a historical development in the United States post-World War II, where manufacturing transitioned from traditional urban centers to smaller cities across the country, facilitated by the expansion of interstate highways. However, in China, there is a reluctance among firms to undergo a mass migration from coastal hubs to inland cities. The scarcity of industrial infrastructure in these interior areas poses a potential hindrance to productivity. Despite the Chinese government's efforts to incentivize manufacturers to relocate to these regions, success in achieving this shift has been limited. Despite supply chain leaders actively working to expand their sourcing beyond China and companies in industries such as fashion, exploring the possibility of producing items closer to their end consumers in Europe and the US, many still find it difficult and prohibitively expensive to abandon China. However, China's role as the world's manufacturing hub will likely persist, and it's unlikely to be replaced by any other country in the near future. This is due to China's significant influence in the global manufacturing industry, and replacing China would entail a massive restructuring of intricate supply chains and a considerable loss of efficiency. The established ecosystem in China, encompassing skilled labor, technological expertise, and a vast network of suppliers, makes it an irreplaceable cornerstone of the global manufacturing landscape. If you enjoyed the content, kindly express your support by hitting the like button. Most importantly, consider subscribing to our channel to ensure you stay updated and receive more engaging videos like this in the future.